90s, we were giving the polygraph form to video games that we were looking for more detail and presentation. We had the NES with the 2D graphics as well as the SNES, but then came the 64, which blew our minds, giving us the polygraph form and having our characters look like blocks. Although when I saw it, I thought it was awesome and looked realistic, it hasn't really aged well. But looking back, it was to start with something new. And then eventually, we got something even better when Sega decided to release something with the Dreamcast.
Fukusan! Fukusan!
Ryo-san!
Fukusan! Father!
Stay back, Ryo. For the
The Sega Dreamcast was always an underrated console in my opinion. It had some of the best fighting games of any system, but the system did not sell well as expected. In 1999, Sega went all out and tried to salvage or turn the tides of a war with Nintendo and PlayStation. In 1999, they released Shenmue, which was created by Yu Suzuki, which happened to be one of the most expensive video games ever developed. It was estimated to be between $47 to $70 million, and that's a lot of money in 1999. It consisted of an open world 3D environment, interspersed with brawler battles, quick time events. You star as Ryu Hazuki, who is out for revenge to find his father's killer, Lan Di. Along the way, you learn new teachings from other martial arts masters. You can use these in your adventures, and you can also upgrade them as you go throughout the game. The best thing about Shenmue is that the game is very open world driven. Ryu can basically go anywhere throughout the city. He can even go to different cities, shops, etc. You can also use items, health power-ups, and even interact with many things throughout the city. This is one of the most beautiful things about Shenmue. Everything pretty much is interactive, and as you play along, you'll notice that. I found myself going over to areas that had nothing to do with this main story just to see if I can interact with certain things. And that's another great part of a gameplay because it gives you more time to play the game out and also experience it more fully. As I mentioned earlier, you can interact with so many things within Shenmue. You can go to local video game huts and play video games through quick time events, such as this boxing game, just basically following the buttons on top of the screen and hitting them on your controller. This is one of the best aspects of the game. As I said, you can interact with many things. You can even go to certain places and even gamble. Whatever floats your boat. You can try to win money doing circle dice games, mahjong, pretty much anything you want. You can even play some blackjack in the game. You have to go through different cities to find the areas, but you can actually find them pretty easily and make decent money off them if you know how to play them correctly. There's even parts of the game where you actually work like a regular person, meaning you wake up after sleeping and go to work, and during this time you can actually run a real cool forklift game where you can win money as well as little prizes to collect. As a change of pace, the game also allows quick time events. This is different from the normal fighting that we'll be used to around gangs of enemies. This is more of a one-on-one aspect, or maybe multiple enemies at a time, but it's actually a cool aspect of the story. And it's actually not too repetitive to make you think that it's just too much of it. It just throws in a nice little layer of it, which is a very good comp to the in-world fighting. As mentioned before, you do have a 3D element of fighting, and you will learn different skills as you go along, talking to different masters. And you can upgrade those skills as you go. As you can see, there's tons of skills where you can learn. You can also practice them anywhere, pretty much open in the area. You can either go to a park or a parking garage, you have backyard, etc., or even a dojo to practice your skills and learn more. And you use these skills against any open world enemies that will come towards you. It's actually a really cool feature, and it's very, very, very elaborate. As you can learn so many skills, I don't think I've even unlocked all of them. But it's also give you a quest to go see what else you can learn throughout the game. After the success of Shenmue 1, Although it didn't save the console, they decided to release a sequel, Shenmue 2 in 2001. This would expand upon the story, having Ryo actually travel over to China to continue to find Lan Di. In this game, you actually can see even better graphics, along with more open world elements the player can use. You can also find more fight scenes, QTE scenes, gambling, more skills to learn, and more people to interact with as you travel throughout China. Now, this game actually left people more hungry for the Shenmue series, as it was the last one released. In 2004, they tried to release a Shenmue multiplayer game. Unfortunately, this game was never released and only a trailer was given to the fans. I remember watching X Play with Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb, where Adam will constantly take questions from fans asking, when is the next Shenmue going to be released? He eventually stopped taking them, saying he doesn't know, because, for one, Dreamcast went under, and two, Sega started making other video games for other systems. Hence, Shenmue 2 was actually released on Xbox as well. But we would get an answer soon enough.
Very much their project, but we wanted to celebrate their announcement on our stage, since this is a game that PlayStation fans have been very, very, very vocal about.
出張に行ってもどこ行っても、3はどうなった3はどうなったいつ3出るんだとか可能性を探ってきた結果キックスターターでシェンムー3を作ることに決めました。やっとシェンムー2の続き外伝ではなくちゃんとしたシェンムー1、2の3というストーリーを展開できることになります。Shenmue 3 will be the story you have waited for, but this Kickstarter will be real success. When you choose to make it the full-on Shenmue experience you have dreamed of. The fate of Shenmue is in your hands now.
As you can imagine, the crowdfunding source was funded with the outgrowing support of many of the supporters and well-wishers of the Shenmue series. It was able to raise $2 million in under 7 hours, and ended the following month raised about over $6 million, making it the highest funded video game and the 6th highest funded campaign in Kickstarter history at the time. Crowdfunding on the other platforms ended in 2018, having raised a total of $7.1 million. In 2019, the long-anticipated wait was over, as the first trailer of Shenmue 3 dropped. The game will be available for PlayStation 4 and Windows in the fall of 2019. Due to the impending release of Shenmue 3, Shenmue 1 and 2 were actually re-released for Xbox One and PlayStation and remastered. So I would recommend picking them up before you play Part 3. Now the only question that's left to be answered is, was the wait worth it? And there's only one way to find out. You can bet I'll be probably picking up Shenmue 3 when it's released, and exploring it and seeing if was it worth the wait. Anyway, this is more of a synopsis on one of my favorite game series, and I want to give you a little brief look into it. If you really like 3D atmospheres and environments, a precursor to the Yakuza games, then Shenmue is the game for you. Check it out if you get a chance. Anyway, thank you for watching, and as always, have a great rest of your day.